All right, what is up, guys? Thought I'd go ahead and do a little aquaponics update. So, it's been about 4 weeks since the last video. Most things have been in here for about a little bit over a month, and some things for only about 4 weeks, and a couple of these little guys just for about a week or so. So everything has been continuing to grow fine. I harvested the radish and the carrot. The carrot was really tiny. Didn't taste very good. The radish was a bit bigger, but that also didn't taste the best, and I think it was overdue. So I planted a bunch of radish sprouts over here, and these are looking okay. A couple of the leaves are looking pretty funky, and with almost all of these, they've fallen over, and their new, more mature leaves are starting to sprout up from the point. And I think that's because I just didn't plant the seeds deep enough in here. So I'm just gonna let them go though, just to see what happens. And then I've just recently sprouted a little bit of carrots in here just to see if that does anything. We've been harvesting this quite a bit and it keeps growing. You can see all the cut marks that we've made in there. Purple basil's doing good too. And same with the pepper plants. Now I'm about to run another little experiment over here because recently I've added some red wiggler worms in here about a week ago. And I've only added about 20 worms in this bin right here because it's not the biggest. And I'm just going to see how that goes. I can see them along the edges here sometimes if I come and I look at night and I look down, or if you just scoot some rocks out of the way real quick, sometimes you'll find them. Now what that got me thinking about is if there was a way to do aquaponics without any fish, just using the red wiggler compost worms. And so I looked it up online and I found something called vermiponics, which is just worm aquaponics, and it's kind of similar to what I was thinking, but there's still, I couldn't find the most information on it, and I decided just to run an experiment on my own. So I built a little mini aquaponics system right here that's set up on the same timer that all of these systems are set up as, and it's just a flood and drain system that I made out of some 5-gallon buckets. So pretty much there's a bottom reservoir down there. Water gets pumped up into this bucket, and then it's the same system that I have set up right here where there's no bell siphon in here. I got rid of the bell siphon. I just have a pipe with a hole in the bottom, and then so a certain amount of water can get through as this bed fills up, but not so much that the bed doesn't continue to fill. So the rest of the water will continue to fill and then overflow through the top here. When the timer goes off and the pump goes off, the rest of the water will continue to drain out through the hole in the bottom there. I did a pretty similar thing with this pipe right in here, except I made a bunch of holes about 2 inches down from the top of this pipe, and so that will set the water level for this bed. And so that's pretty much it. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And then I have just the pipe running out through the back of these buckets here. I set up 2 buckets with a pump. I used 2 buckets just to give me a little bit of extra space pretty much, and add another level of biological filtration, and to just give me more space to allow all the water to drain out, so I don't have to be filling this up all the time to make sure that it can flood and drain correctly. Let me see if I can kind of show you under this first bucket here. So underneath this first bucket, I just have some of those scrubby pads that I used in my biological filter from this bigger one. And so that should already have some nitrifying bacteria in it. And then you can see there's just another hole under there that the tube and the pump come through, the bottom bucket. Then it comes out through both the side buckets and over here, and the water just drains through this bucket into that bucket and then down into the bottom one again. So you could really put whatever you wanted in here if you wanted to put some mechanical filtration as well. But anyway, so the goal with this is to, I'm just letting it cycle now for a couple weeks, and I put some media from this bed in here to hopefully speed up the colonization of the bacteria. And I'm just gonna let that cycle for a couple weeks. Then I'm going to add some compost worms, and I've just been putting a little bit of fish food in here every day or so as I feed these tanks, just to build up some nitrogen in the system. I'm gonna add just some compost worms in here. I'm not sure how many I'll do. I believe this is a 3-gallon bucket actually, these two black ones, and that is a 5-gallon bucket on the bottom. So it's about 8 inches of media still, like this bed. And I'm gonna get a separate little grow light for this as well. But I'm hoping I can run the system with no fish, just using worms. Probably still have to use all the same supplements I do for these tanks, like magnesium, iron, and potassium and things like that. But I'm hoping I can pretty much feed them just like I do these fish, a little pinch of fish food, and then maybe just toss like a couple kitchen scraps on here every now and again, and I can run an aquaponics system just off of the composting worms. So that's the idea anyway. We'll see how that goes. So you can see it's turning on right now, and this is just all equipment I had laying around. So the pump that I've going through here is actually a pretty powerful pump, and much more powerful than I would really need, but hopefully that won't be an issue. All right, that is pretty much it. If you guys have any thoughts on the vermiponics or the aquaponics, please let me know. Thank you.